Right, so Dean, thanks for joining us on the family-friendly Facebook group. Here you are. How it's going to work is we'll ask you a number of questions. Is that going? Oh, what's happening there then?
Just a bit delay, I think.
Okay. Right. Okay. Yep. You're still live. Yep. Right, so, welcome to Family Friendly Facebook group. What we'll do is we'll ask you a couple of questions. We'll just explain how it works. We'll ask you a couple of questions, and then I'm sure everybody else will start asking you some questions as well.
Ask them whatever you want.
So, I'll start things off then. We might have a little bit of fun in the middle as well, by the way. So, I'll just start things off, and we're just asking you about what's your highest and what's your lowest moment since you've been looking after town?
Dear me. Highest got to Wembley, Schindler penalty. That's the highest. Lowest, probably the lowest is Mark Robbins' resignation after the first game against Bournemouth, 4-0. Unexpected, and it kind of left us in limbo. So that's probably the lowest point. You know, you put lots of planning into pre-season, you lose 4-0, and the manager resigns, and that kind of left us. It took a long time to actually get out of that rut, but at the same time, you know, with Mark and also with Chris as well, that led me to probably bring David Wagner in. So sometimes, you know, there is always a positive out of a negative.
Yeah, took it. Well, thanks for that. Clappers, love them or hate them.
The work.
They do.
Simple.
Yeah.
We tried not to have them one game, and it wasn't the same atmosphere. So we don't give them the south stand. You know, they can use their hands, but generally when you look at videos and blogs of the game, then you find that all generations use them. I think it brings us all together. So whilst ever we've got the atmosphere like we have, then they're here to stay. The clappers are here to stay.
They're good.
Absolutely.
Philip, have you got anything there?
So Martin says, how many people do HTFC employ now, as it's probably grown greatly?
I haven't got a clue. Probably about 300 people. You know, to give you an idea, there's 21 people, and it's probably going to go up to around 30 people working our foundation. You know, the Premier League are putting lots of resource our way. They're seeing the good we do in the community, and we're delivering some really good things. And you know, they're giving us grants of lots of money. I think we've received a grant this week from an organisation of over £100,000, and they want us to deliver their their theory and their practice into the community. So we live in a very diverse area, and we're doing good. So it's not just on football. Premier League also enables us to do some excellent things away from Saturday at 3 o'clock as well.
Have you got anything else there? Because mine's just
so Steve wants to know if we will see contactless payments in the stands next season.
Contactless? Does that mean beer for free?
Yeah, right. I can see that coming.
Do you know something? I very much doubt it next season. Contactless has got to come in because it's quicker. It's also cheaper for a company, but that's controlled by KSDL, so it's out of our hands. But I'm sure KSDL will be looking at ways of improving everything for the matchday experience as well. So I would say, if not next season, it's bound to come in the future. Absolutely.
Okay. Question for you about David.
Yeah.
Contract. Can we relax yet?
Yeah, of course you can. There's absolutely no issues. You know, we decided not to even talk about it until we're safe. We're not safe yet. We've had tentative talks, myself and David. David's made it very clear he wants to stay at Huddersfield Town Football Club. He's got no wish to go anywhere else, but that needs to be in the Premier League. So we need to make sure that we get over the line first. That's in our hands after Tom Ince's goal, and we'll crack on from there. But that's David's wish. He wants to stay at Huddersfield Town Football Club.
Okay. What made you decide on David? I mean, how did it all come about? What's the story?
I've said it a few times. It's just a bit of a fluke, really. I'd like to sit here and say, we had this grand plan, but we didn't. You know, we knew from what happened with Chris being here that we had to try something new. You know, we just couldn't keep going spending, £3 and £4 million a year and going nowhere. It's too expensive, so we had to try something different. And when David came for the interview, we just kind of got excited about his views on football, his philosophy, all his ideas, his playing style, his fitness, the pressing game, Dortmund, having that education. And we thought, you know, this is really, you know, left field. But, you know, I always say, you know, fortune favours the brave. And it was very simple. If it worked, he could be the man to get us to the Premier League. Seriously. And it happened. If it doesn't, you sack him. And that is, I know it's quite harsh, but that's as brutal as it is. And we had to do something different. Was it my last throw of the dice? Not really, but it was. You know, we had to do something completely radical. And, you know, for my enthusiasm, for the fans' enthusiasm, you know, if you talk to fans now about the last 10 years, many will say, well, the only season I haven't had a ticket or a season card is when Chris Powell was in charge. And lots of people got disengaged with the football club, and football is about entertainment, it's about bringing people together, and it's worked absolutely perfectly. So success has many friends. You know, Stuart Webber, integral, instrumental in that, but he wasn't alone. And he's one of a few people who helped bring it together. And ultimately, it was me who had to say, yep, we're going for it, and we did. And you know, we've never looked back.
Yeah, that's all right.
Just saying hello.
Yeah, just
hello.
Just touching on what you said earlier on about like sort of the last roll of the dice. Obviously, things have changed slightly since then.
No, not the last roll of the dice, but you know, where do you go from Lee, Simon, Mark, Chris? It's all the same. We needed something different, you know. You know, even down to the way, you know, David interacts with the fans, all this waving. You know, let's be fair. You know, if you're an opponent and you are an opposing fan, it must do your absolute head in. But if it was your manager doing it with your fans, it's the best thing in the world.
Yeah, we love it.
And we love it, and I love it as well. Absolutely.
Britta Billion says she wants more clothes in pink.
That's Phil's mum.
More clothes in pink.
That's
more
Phil
chat
Billings when
clothes
she
in
wants. She wants more. What do you reckon?
Excellent.
No.
well, the one thing I would say is if you go back to the 70s, 80s, in the Old Leeds Road, the female participation in our fan base was probably 1 in 10, half in 10. Now it must be 3 and 4 out of 10 in the crowd, you know, and some of our most passionate supporters are females. You look at football, you know, my boys play for Batterford, and they have Batterford Bells. They have a huge female football program, and female football is absolutely huge. And some of our most passionate fans are females. So yep, absolutely. We'll have everything in pink going forward. Sorry.
Well, not quite everything.
So, just Peter Jackson just asked. Many fans would be happy for you to take back some of the millions that you put into the club. Since we've got the Sky TV money, what do you think? Because well, he thinks you deserve it, but
taking money out of a club, well, let's be fair, the value of the club is on a different level than it was before we got to the Premier League. And if we return our Premier League status into our second year, then the club is worth even more money. So as an asset base, I'm really relaxed. Regarding taking monies out, yeah, there'll always be an odd opportunity to take a few million out at the same time. But the way football works, you always want to invest everything which comes your way to make the club more to take the club up the pyramid. And we have to just to be realistic on how far we can now take that up the pyramid, because you know, clubs can spend 50, 60, 70, 100 million pounds on lots of different players, and they may go up 1 or 2 places. Look at West Bromwich Albion. They increased their wage bill from 60 to 95 million pounds, spent lots of money on transfers, and they're getting relegated. Look at Southampton. You know, they're in a very precarious situation from being the model club up to 12 months ago. So I always say, I've been speaking to Darren Bryant, our financial director, today, there is always more than one way to skin a cat, and what we have to do at Huddersfield, we have to find a different way of taking this club forward, just like we have to get to this point now. You know, we haven't done it by just blowing millions. Yeah, we have spent lots of money, but at the same time, it's become not a bad investment, but we have to find different ways of taking it forward now, and we have to be smart and clever, and we will try and be.
I remember watching you here when you did a Q&A once, and you said, we are, obviously this was a while ago, but you turned around and said, we are a bottom half championship club,
we are,
at best. Not anymore though, are we?
Yeah.
We are, you think? You think we're bottom of the championship
Our
level?
finances were, absolutely.
We were then, but I'm not looking leaps and bounds.
We cannot compete. We cannot compete against the Wolves, the Villas, the Leeds, all these people. We cannot compete. What we have done is proved to lots of people, and also given lots of people hope, that it's not just about blowing money. It's about spending wisely, because the worst investment is an expensive player who turns out to be not very good, because they are there with you for 3 and 4 years. That is a problem. Look at Sunderland. You know, let's be fair. Who's the guy at Sunderland? Who is it? Rodwell, who's on lots and lots of money, even though they could be in League One next season. That is a problem. So we've got to make sure here that we do the contracts correctly, and we get good value for money, and we also give people the opportunity to join our football club and give them a platform. And it's the same in the Premier League. If players come and they grow bigger than Huddersfield Town, then we'll move on and we will reinvest our money. So our model in the Championship is exactly the same as it's going to be in the Premier League. That's how it works. And there's always times that players come and move on. But we sell the Premier League to lots of players. Come here, prove your worth. We will give you a platform to succeed. And if you outgrow the club, you move on. And if the club outgrows you and you don't perform, then you move on, but you go the other way. That's how football works.
Yeah. Good stuff.
And by the way, I'm wearing this top because I'm playing football in 30 minutes. So. I'm going straight to it.
Someone's actually said, and it's the way that the camera is, but someone said you've got your badge on the wrong side. But it isn't. It's just the way that the camera's showing it. It shows it on the wrong side.
Absolutely.
Just Mark Young. Do you know Mark?
One
of your partners, I think. He says, "Good evening, Dean. Ready to sign our partnership and the box deal for next season. How pleased are you with the massive success of the commercial department, and how important is it to the club?"
I think we should be charging all boxes double. That's all. Look, I think it's not just about the money we get from commercial partners. It's also about what commercial partners can actually give the club back as well. If you look at Pedal for Pounds, if you look at all the charity work we do, a huge amount is generated through goodwill of partners. They're a huge part of our success off the field. So they put money into the club. We're now in the Premier League. We get lots of money from Sky, but at the same time, we're not there to fleece our commercial partners. They've backed us when, to be fair, we've needed them more than they've needed us. And now you could say the roles are more reversed, but we need to look after them because they really help us do fantastic work in the community, as well as supporting us on match days with income as well.
Yeah, you got anything there?
Mark was saying, is there any news on the director of football position?
No news, no.
Okay. So, do you feel we need this come from Jay Larrick? Do you feel we need to buy the ground to keep growing the club? I think it comes up quite often, does that one, doesn't it?
No, we don't need to buy the ground. I think there's a few rumours knocking around now. We would like to take the ground over. Of course, we would like our own ground, but we've got to be. We have to be respectful. It's also the Giants' home as well. They gave their Far Town ground up, like we gave Leeds Road up. It's the Giants' home. What we need to make sure going forward is that the collaboration agreement, which ties the football club, the rugby club and the council in, is more fair and reflective of what we bring to the party, and we'll be in talks with that going forward. But at the moment, we don't wish the Giants to move out. It works. Look, things aren't ideal, never have been or never will be, but we all get on, and they're also a club which play in the stadium.
Yeah, I think it's
simple.
Does it ever cause any problems with regards to that it's a three-way? Because I mean, like sometimes I think there's rumours or talk of like sort of there being a challenge sometimes about making decisions on what can happen and what can't happen.
No, to be fair, the football club are in a really good position because if you take games, we are protected from being a Football League member. That the Giants, is that right? I think the Giants can't play within 48 hours of our game. Unfortunately, the Giants decided to play rugby on a Friday evening, which means their fixtures come out before ours. So if our fixtures come out, we've got a Saturday game, or if it's moved by Sky, which, let's be fair, a lot are moved by Sky now, the Giants have got to rearrange, which is not ideal for them. It's not a good situation, but you know, that's the way it works. But no, look, you know, there's lots of myths about the rugby cuts the pitch up. It doesn't. The football probably does more damage than the rugby. We spent £1 million on the lights this season. Obviously the football club have paid for them. That will help the rugby as well, because it'll keep the pitch in tip-top condition. So it's about working together, and you know, going forward, we have got to make it very clear. It's also the Giants' home as well as us, as well as ours.
Yeah.
On that, there's a few people asking if we can't buy it, say, and we don't want to become just our stadium, what we do, but there's a few asking about expanding instead. It's like filling in the corners, things like that.
Yeah, the corners were very hard to fill in. You could expand it, but you know something, if you look at the Premier League, if you take our income £110-20 million, then if you look at the season ticket revenue, if we charge full price for season cards, our income would probably about £5 million. We do discounted season cards, so our income is probably £3 million. That's probably 2 to 2.5% of our total income. So why would we want to take on more debt, make the stadium bigger, let's increase to 30,000? Because we have got to be realistic. You know, we could be in the Premier League for 5 years, but actually then we fall through the trap door, and it's very hard to then regain our place back in the Premier League. So the stadium has been empty. Let's be fair, the stadium has been too big for 20 years plus. Yeah. This is the first season it's been probably too small. We've got, I think, a 3,000 waiting list now for season cards. That creates a little bit of excitement and hysteria, and that's a great place to be. Liverpool have got probably 50,000 waiting list, but we have got a waiting list, and that's our view. But as good as the stadium is for us, and we run out to an amazing atmosphere, if you also take into, and I've spoken openly with the Giants about this, if you look at the Giants, unfortunately, they run out to 20,000 empty seats, and if you take the Giants versus, let's say, Castleford at the is it where they play the Jungle, what a fantastic atmosphere that is, and that must help everything. So as much as the stadium is ideal for us, it's also not ideal for everybody. But like I say, it's their home, and you know, we have to respect that as a football club.
Rachel Gummersel's just put on there, and I want to echo it really, and it's like, it's a massive thank you for keeping season tickets so affordable again.
Yeah.
You know, it makes such a difference. It makes such a difference to a family. I'm like, well, you know, but there's me and my 2 boys, and I'm sure there's other families out there. I mean, it makes such a massive difference. Makes it affordable, makes it great, and like, so kids love it, family loves it. Everybody else loves it.
It makes a huge difference. I get that, but at the same time, if you are delivering, which we are, Premier League football, exciting stuff on the pitch, not every week, but exciting stuff on the pitch, then it's a recipe for success, isn't it? Let's be fair. It's the perfect recipe, and that's what's happening at the moment. So we will try and keep the tickets as low as possible. I don't think we've put them up. We're putting them up this year £50. I think it's a small price to pay, £2 a game. It's still really affordable, and we've got people now who actually want to come to the games and can't get in. Would you ever have thought that?
Never.
Not a few years
Never.
ago.
Absolutely.
Mark Ashton wants to know if Terry the Terrier is going to get a pay rise, because he's getting some publicity about Terry the Terrier.
I thought you were fantastic on Match of the Day, though. Absolutely fantastic. I'm fantastic. No, yeah. I just laughed, you know, brilliant, isn't it? You know? Especially he's sat on his bum and just waving us forward. That's our tactics. It's Wanger and him, you know.
So Thomas Dixon, realistic comments, stadium redevelopment, not needed. All right, as it is.
I don't think it is needed.
Yeah.
Look, the stadium needs lots of improvements.
Yeah.
Let's be clear. The stadium, I am not happy with. It's not a Premier League standard. It's got 24,000 seats, but there are lots of things. It's 24 years old now. There are lots of things falling down, lots of things failing, and KSDL, the company which controls it, do very well with what they have, and they keep a very tight ship, a very neat ship. But we have to be realistic. When you compare our ground against, let's say, Leicester City, which was built not too dissimilar times, their stadium looks absolutely impeccable at the side of us. And what we want to do, look, if we retain our Premier League status for our second year, then we want to make sure that the town of Huddersfield is reflective of the stadium we play in, and it could be a lot better. And that's the talks we need to have with the stadium company to see how, together, the Giants, the football club, and the council, how we can improve and actually, give it a really good polish and a really good shine, and bring it up to what we believe is a Premier League standard ground.
Good. I'm just going to have a bit of fun in the middle there.
You're going to tell a joke?
No, I'm not going to tell a joke. I'm not right good at that.
He's not right good at that.
You don't know where this is going yet, Dean. Right, okay, so quick fire. You ready? Right, Facebook or Twitter?
Twitter.
Marmite, love it or hate it?
I like both of them. Is that the same?
Depends who you are.
Lager or bitter?
Lager.
Pizza or curry?
Curry.
Apple or Android?
Neither.
Airwolf or Night Rider?
Who?
Oh, come on.
See, this is why. Who?
You know Airwolf?
Never
No,
heard of him.
we'll skip that one.
Night Rider.
Right, Night Rider then. Legs or bums?
Bums.
Okay. And town or family?
Family.
There you go. Nice one. Succeeded. It wasn't too gruesome, that was it. I did get one from, it was from Mark Dunn. Talk us through the celebration on Saturday. The fans loved the passion.
On the picture, yeah. Remember?
Well, I were at PPG on Saturday lunchtime, and I was saying to the fans, look, this is a huge game, and it's not very often I come out and say, come on guys, this is it, you've got to really get behind the club. And I was saying to the fans here, even if people at the side of you are sat there, sucking the dummies, you have to stand up at any part of the ground and sing. So I'm sat there thinking, you can't preach what you don't pray. So I was at it, and you've got to be having you. And when the final whistle went, and the problem, you see the photo, you've got Julian Winter, the chief exec, sat there, I was watching the referee. I think Julian was watching something else. So as soon as the referee went, I knew, and I was up.
Yeah.
And it was pure relief. And if you would just go back, 2 hours, Southampton 2, Chelsea 0.
Yeah.
Huddersfield 0, Watford 0. There had been 2 points separating us. But as fate has it, you had that with Southampton, with Chelsea, and you had Tom into the last goal. There's now 7 points, and look, we're not saying we're over the line, but we've put ourselves. It's easier to get over the line, 7 points in front than what it would be with 2 points in front. And look, we all know in football, expect the unexpected, and we're not over the line. We need probably another win, another couple of draws. But we're getting there, and one last effort, probably against Everton, and we need to be at it again from the stands, and I'm sure we'll be. Then we can look forward to the year next year, but it's not going to be easy, and we have to rely on other teams as well. So let's see how we go. But as we sit here now, we're not over the line, but my goodness me, it's in our hands. If somebody said to me, with 4 games to go, you're 7 points clear of the drop, would I have taken it? Absolutely, 100%.
Yeah, I mean, the atmosphere as well, on just the whole atmosphere on Saturday was just phenomenal. It
was good, apart from, and I'll be critical here, apart from probably 20 minutes in the second half, it went really quiet, and people got nervous. Watford started singing, Watford upped their game, and I was thinking, come on guys, this is where we need you. We don't need you when we're winning. We don't need you when we need you when we're up against it.
Yeah.
And look, it's nervousness. The fans are nervous. I get that. I am as well. But that's when we need the fans behind us, when it's not going quite our way. But yeah, the atmosphere is absolutely incredible. And I've been on Huddersfield Town Twitter and the website looking at the videos of the game and the celebrations. I've never seen anything like it in all my time watching Huddersfield. People talk about Leeds Road, about magical times. not a patch on this. What's happening now, I would say, is the best we've ever known at Huddersfield Town, right through its history. Right through its history. That's my view. It's incredible, and long may it continue.
Did you see on, I put it on the group earlier on, but there's an auction going on at the moment with the 3 medals for 1924.
Yeah, is it Bomber?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Did you see it? Are you going to put a bid in?
Yeah. We're made as a football club.
Yeah,
you know, we need to keep everything we can, but obviously there's only a certain price we'll pay. And we've got lots of medals like that, so they're important. But we've also got WH Smith's medals, the 3 championships in a row, and we've got lots and lots of history in the club, and it's all being kept together. We've even got at the club in the boardroom, there's a book, and it's the first recorded minutes of Huddersfield Town, and it says in, I think it's 26th of August 1907, 1906 to 1907, we are bringing together a new football club in the Albert Hotel, wherever the Albert Hotel used to be, in Huddersfield, and it shows it's the first writing before the club was formed, and that is pristine new in the boardroom, and it's fantastic. And when I took over, we found it in the box underneath the stand. And what about that for history? Yeah. So what we're doing now, we're going to contact some historians and make sure everything we have is completely logged and all together in a complete record, because we have some wonderful things. I'll tell you another one as well, if you're interested.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. For years and years and years since I've been here, for 10 years, we've always wondered about the Huddersfield Town nameplate, the actual train nameplate. Now these things are worth 30, 40, 50,000 pounds. And there's 2. The original is in Tolson Museum. Don't know who owns it. It's in Tolson Museum. The other one, I remember we had Nigel Clemens, our chief exec, who was a bit of a train buff. Even Nigel, if you're watching Nigel, I doubt you are, but if you're watching...
Paul Radcliffe's watching, apparently.
Yeah. Even Nigel got this wrong. The original nameplate was at Canal Side, under a table for years. The one at the stadium, outside the boardroom, is a replica. Yeah? And we always thought that was the original. And the story goes, Terry Fisher had the replica, which he thought and we thought was the original, in his garage. We said to Terry, please Terry, bring it back. Terry kindly brought the replica back, which he thought was the original and we thought was original. We examined it, but under the table was one in chrome, and I've got it stripped, and underneath the chrome is solid brass, and it's been verified that is the original one. So we've got it completely restored. It's absolutely beautiful. So we've actually found the second nameplate, and when we get round to it, we'll put it up in the stadium.
That's fantastic.
Yeah. So if I haven't done much for 10 years, I found out the nameplate.
Safe standing. What's your thoughts on it?
Do you know something? I don't really have a view. I think they have to. There's a few myths. Safe standing will not lead to increased attendances, because you are where you are in your pod, so it will not lead to increased attendances. It will not therefore reduce ticket prices. In fact, if anything, ticket prices may even go up, because this thing is very expensive. But if there is a movement towards safe standing, then we will not be, as a football club, we will not be the leaders, we will not be the guys who push this forward. But if the football world comes to the conclusion that every stadium needs it in, then we will go along with the rest. That's our view. The other myth which we've got to be very careful here of is, and I've been told this by lots of people and also at the Premier League, if safe standing does come in, there will be a zero tolerance of the rest of the ground for standing. Zero tolerance. That's a problem. Right at the moment it kind of works. So let's see what happens. But as a football club, believe you me, we have so much on our plate. Safe standing is not at the forefront of our objectives to do in the short term.
Thanks for that.
But if it comes along, it comes along.
If you, a personal question from me, if you could bring one player back from your time as chairman to the club, would you, and who would it be?
One player back. Do you know something? I don't think many players who we've had in the past would actually be able to play in the team we have now. Yeah, but I think the player who will bring back is my all-time hero, Malcolm Brown. I think from the '79 season, running down the right wing, people like him kind of got me hooked in, and then you had Ian Robbins bobbing it in. So for me, it'd be Malcolm Brown.
Matthew Goodall has just put, thanks Dean. It's been Huddersfield Town God for me, and son Jack, who's 9. Can you give him a wave? We've already asked about the stadium, and what else have we got on there? I'll just ask you one more question on here. What's it feel like when there's 20,000 people shouting your name in the stadium?
I kind of get embarrassed.
Do you really?
But as embarrassed that I get, Joshua, my son, he gets properly embarrassed. Okay. Yeah. No, I don't encourage it. I don't wave. I don't do anything back. Look, the football club is about Huddersfield Town. It's not about me. Yep, I know people. They have a bond with me. They want to thank me for what I've done. But it's been a complete team effort, and I'm just glad that I can give back. The memories we're having or we're creating, that's moment in time. So yeah, when people sing my name, I kind of I do a bit of a shift down in the seat. But
right, we'll do it more now. Right, okay. I think, have you got anything else that you want to ask?
No, I'm conscious of being needing to get off.
Yeah,
no, you're fine. If you want to run 5 or 10 more minutes, I'm happy with that.
Okay, right.
Okay.
So when you started the card factory,
yeah, did
you ever dream in your wildest dreams that you'd be owning Huddersfield Town?
No, I was saying this to Janet, believe it or not, the other day. I'm just 51 now, birthday last week, or was it this week, Monday. So my 50th year, and I think it's my 9th as chairman. What a 50th year, with Huddersfield Town getting into the Premier League. Absolutely incredible. And as dreams come, I still cannot believe I'm the chairman, what's actually got us to the Premier League. By hook or crook, by luck, I just find it so emotional and incredible. And I think if you look at Cards Factory, then what happened there, it was a bit like a snowball. It got so big, it was incredible, and like I say, success has many friends, but Car Factory was an unbelievable story. We literally took on the whole industry and turned it on its head, and it's a great business. It's been a fantastic people with great people. So great business with great people, but it's like the football club. You can't do these things on your own. Car Factory had an unbelievable team around me, and they helped me and subsidised my skill set. And same as the football club as well. I'm the figurehead. There's lots of people work around me and underneath me who put their heart and soul and deserve the success as much as I do.
Brilliant. There was one question that's just, it's not even a question, it's more of a statement. It's from Russell Teal, and he says, I've seen the light from a Leeds fan to a Town fan, up the town.
We don't need it now, but no. We don't need it, any defectors. Actually, go back, I think they need you more than we do. I'm joking, you're more than welcome.
I did see one, it's gone off now, so I can't see who it was, but they're asking about expanding Canalside.
Yeah.
Is there any plans to expand Canalside further?
Yeah, we have a master plan. That means we need to stay in the Premier League for that to happen. And we need to bring this into a Premier League training ground. I will say no more.
Okay. Right, I think...
otherwise you'll be getting the Examiner sensational and a headline in the morning, that's all. Bless them.
Yeah.
Right, I think what we're going to do is we're going to wrap things up there, Dean.
Okay.
Just again, a massive thank you from us two here.
Hey, I'll carry on. Come on.
Are you still here?
Oh,
right, okay, we'll
start.
Right.
Hey, do you guys want to go?
No, definitely
we'll
not.
keep you as long as you're there. We're conscious of not keeping you all the time.
This has come from Mark Cooney. It says, how surreal does it feel for the one and only English chairman in the Premier League on one of the lowest budgets, facing all these judgments in the Premier League, such as Abramovich and Man City money?
I'm not the only one. You have Peter Coates at Stoke, you have Tony Bloom at Brighton, who's done absolutely incredible with that club. So I'm not the only one in the Premier League, but it is a challenge. Let's be fair. I think David says we're against countries, we're against billionaires, and look, you know, I've done well in life, I've got a bob or two, but this is this Premier League is a billionaires game now. It really is, and it's not easy. But at Huddersfield Town, in our true Yorkshire way, we have to find, what do we say, more than one way to skin the cat. We have to find it, and we will, and we'll try and compete, not with money, but by being one step and a little bit smarter than our opponents.
Right. Ryan Farrell says, on that similar subject, has anyone approached you to buy the club now we're in the Premier League?
No, no one's approached me, but I will say the same as I've said. So I don't want the examiner sensationalising things if you're watching. I don't want to, look, it's the same as I've always said. If somebody comes along with deeper pockets than me, with the right intentions, then I will never stand in the way of the football club. It will be the saddest day of my life when I leave this club, but at the same time, you know, the football club is about Huddersfield Town, not the individual who owns it. So I always say that. So have I had any talks of takeovers, any approaches? Zero.
That's the way we like it.
Yeah, we'll keep that one. Yeah.
I'm waiting.
So I know you won't know the new signings, or maybe you do, I don't know, but the money for any potential signings in the summer, is that available? What's
Yes, available, but one has to remember that our net spend is probably in the region of £60 million last year. You know, probably about 50 plus Pritchard, around 10 million. So our net spend is 60. You know, one cannot keep spending £60 million with no outgoings every single year. But we're starting off from a great base. There will be money available, but at the same time we need some new blood in as well. And what we have got, though, we've got a fantastic squad who delivered this year. But we have to be mindful that we're not over the line yet. So we're not guaranteed Premier League football. We still need a few points on the board. But if we do retain our Premier League status, we have to improve things in the squad side. But at the same time, the players we've had this season, you know, all those what have delivered, they've been a fantastic bunch, and we've got a fantastic team spirit. So yeah, but every year we have to improve things, of course we do. But you know, it depends on, there's many movable parts before we realise how much there is to spend.
Okay. There is a question around about billing. I don't know whether or not Phil Bill.
Okay.
And there's rumours around him going to Celta Vigo.
I saw that, I heard that, yeah.
I don't know, any...
It's a bit warmer, isn't it?
Yeah.
I've heard absolutely nothing at all. What Philip Billing is, he has the potential to be a top Premier League footballer. We all know that. What Philip has to do, Philip has to prove that. Yep, he has to do it. And it's simple as that. And I think the thing with Philip, and he's a young guy, he's 21-year-old, and as much as the potential he has, we need consistency out of Philip, both on match day but also in training, you know. And the top Premier League professionals are very consistent, and if Philip can bring consistency in his game and also in training, then he has got a huge future in front of himself.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Best value for money. This comes from Anthony Gunnussel. Best value for money signing since your championship began.
Since the championship began,
yeah.
I would say there's got to be a couple actually. The one I sold, Jacob Huddersfield. Okay. We paid 300,000 and sold him for just short of 5 million. A year and a half later. So that's a really good one with Jacob. But if you're talking about value and quality, then it's got to be Christopher Schindler at 1.8 million. You know, he's outstanding. You know, what a boy, what a player, and he kicked the ball to deliver our dream.
He did.
Yeah. I'd have put it in another corner, but hey ho, you know, I'm not knocking him. He can take a better penalty than Hef, I can assure you.
What made you choose Umbro? Was it? Did they approach you? Because I mean, obviously,
I think Umbro. Look, when you're in the Premier League, you've probably got your choice. Yeah, I think Umbro is a few things. I think it's a bit of a northern company. It's got a bit of a northern attitude, if that makes sense. Yeah. But more importantly, I think the quality of the material which we are using next year's kit. I'm not being disrespectful to Puma here, but it's fantastic. It's really, really good material, and design-wise, really pleased with it. So yeah, watch this space.
When do you reckon that?
Oh, speak to Sean. I've no idea. I've no idea. What I will know, we've ordered a lot of kits, so we need
More than last year.
We need to retain the Premier League status. There's nothing else to sell the kits. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Karen was asking if you'll go and sit/stand in the South Stand for a game.
Do you know something? I keep thinking it, but
you should do it.
No. I keep look. It's not about me. This. It's about the football club. I don't like the Limelight. If you notice, I've done very few interviews this year. In fact, I think you're one of the very few interviews on this Facebook Live I've done. I did the Q&A at Canal Side. I think I've done 2 of those, and I haven't really done them because it's. I don't want to be that person what people recognise. You know, it's hard. You know, I always remember after we got promoted, we went on holiday for a week in St Ives in Cornwall, and walking down the cliffs in the middle of nowhere, and the guy said, "Who do you know?" I'm thinking, crikey. Unfortunately, he said, "I'm a Leeds fan." I said, "It's not. It's not your fault." But straight away, from the Wembley, from the emotion, I'm more recognisable. But I don't want that. I want to be as I was, but actually still drive the football club in. So it's a very hard balance. So for me, it's okay doing interviews, but going in the South Stand, I don't want that. I don't want that attention. It's not for me anymore. What I want to do.
Wear a disguise, get a little moustache, and like talk down.
Yeah. Always tried to do that. What were he called? Alan, the manager once when he applied for a job, went in the stand with a flat cap on. What's it called? Alan, manager, the old Leicester manager, Martin Allen. Years ago, didn't work for him. So look, all I want to do is run the football club the best I can, and make sure it's not about me. It's about Huddersfield Town Football Club.
Good effort.
Right.
Who have you got most time for in managers and in the Prem? And owners and chairmen, even.
Apart from Wagner.
You know something? It's a real surreal one. This we had some. I never go down to the media suite after the game, but I've been down once against Spurs. I had some guests who were Tottenham fans, and I said to them, "Oh, do you fancy going down to the media suite after the game?" Of course, they said yes. I went down, and Pochettino were walking down the corridor before me. So his head of press opened the door, and then Pochettino held the door open for me. And he said, "Oh, good afternoon, Mr. Chairman." And I went, "How the bloody hell does he know who I am?" In all fairness. And I just thought to myself...
It's family friendly if we not swear, please.
And I thought to myself, if Hef can swear, so can I. I thought to myself, how on earth does he know that? And I just thought to myself, the way he conducted himself, the way he probably did a little bit more research on the football club, I thought, good on you. And the way he conducted himself that day, behind the scenes, is no surprise what a top quality manager and person he is. Yeah, fantastic guy.
A few people have been asking, can we sign Congolo if we stay up?
I think unfortunately we've probably put Congolo in the shop window and probably priced ourselves out a bit. Great player. Well, I can't say what's going to happen this summer. Let's see what happens.
Which players we're still receiving money for that we've done? I'll tell you another good question. Actually, that's a better one for that. Joe Lolly went. But it wasn't really announced as to how much it was. There's lots of rumours flying around.
Okay.
How much was it?
We got £750,000 guaranteed, plus some add-ons. So for Joe, who, look, great kid, great player, but he wasn't what we needed at that time. Joe needed first team football, and we thought Forest was a great place for him to go. And good luck to him. So we got decent money for him.
When Schindler scored the goal, this come from Mark. When Schindler scored the goal to get us into the Premier League, and said he was repaying you back for the value that
he knows what to say, doesn't he?
Yeah, he does. He chose his words wisely.
Yeah.
How much do you think he's worth now? and how much would you, how much of a pay rise did he get for that?
Well, obviously, you know, we rewarded all the first team players who contributed to last season's success. So the first thing we did is we pulled the contracts up and give them new contracts over and above which they would have got as a Premier League uptick. So, you know, that was fantastic for us to be able to do that. Mm-hmm. Regarding Christopher Schindler, his worth now, I wouldn't like to put a price in it. What I would say though is sometimes there's a value to which people bring on the pitch, and there's a value to which people and players bring off the pitch in the dressing room. And he's a proper leader. He was the captain of 1860 Munich, and he's a proper man and a proper player. So there's a value in Christopher on and off the pitch, and that I wouldn't like to put a price on.
Okay, fair enough.
Okay. Here's a question for you. Is it true that you were the sole pitch invader in the 4-4 draw with Bury in 1991?
Yeah.
Is that you?
Yeah, that was me. That was me. That was me. Get on. Hey? Never caught me, you know. Never caught me. Actually, I had a Volvo 340 DL. Right? I'll tell you a story now. I had a Volvo 340 DL. And just as you come off the slip road of the M66 going up towards Blackburn from Manchester, the thing ran out of petrol. So I dumped it on the hard shoulder, and if it was a burgundy one, I ran out of petrol, but I hadn't got time to sort it because there was a game on. So I hitched the lift to the game. I got to the game, rung Janet up, my wife, and said, do us a favour, come over, fill it with petrol, and I'll see you at the car. So bless her, this is what I mean, she's contributed towards the success of our football club. She came over, she filled it full of petrol, and I remember being 4-0 down, and my mate, Andrew Brook, I said to him, if we scored the equaliser here, I'm on. And actually, I think he threw me on over the fence, and I'm there, and I go and hug Phil Starbuck, and I can see these bobbies coming straight for me. So I scrambled back over the fence, and I got back in the crowd, and yeah, but what a game, eh? But when people say that's their favourite ever game, they say Brentford, they say that, but I think in hindsight, looking back now, my favourite game, obviously forget Wembley, has got to be the 4-4 draw at Sheffield Wednesday with Jordan Rhodes. Yeah, that was far better than Bury 4-4. Yeah, it was. Special. You know, 4-4, Jordan against his father, who was goalkeeping coach Sheffield Wednesday. It was the 97th minute, where Peter Clark put the ball through and Jordan scored. What a day that was. So to me, that was one of my all-time favourite games. Yeah. And I didn't go on the pitch.
No, neither did I. I was there. It was great. It was a great game.
OPE, are they continuing the sponsorship next season?
I believe so, yes. Yep. As long as we retain our Premier League status.
Okay, how's that working out with the relationship? Because there's been quite a close relationship.
It's all down to Sean. No idea. Okay. Yeah. But they have sponsored, or they have given us some money to have free coaches down to Chelsea.
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah.
Absolutely fantastic gesture.
Yeah.
I was thinking about doing it myself, so save me some cash.
Yeah, right. Okay.
They beat me to it.
Have we got anything there?
Paul Stranger says he was given the match ball from the playoff final at Wembley. Would you like it for the club?
The match ball. Is it the official match ball? Because there's lots of match balls.
It doesn't say.
If it's the ball which Christopher put into the net with open arms.
Okay, there you go, Paul.
Okay.
I'll try to find out.
Steve Mooney or Lauren DePautry?
Both. I think for a club our size, I think both of them are fantastic assets for our football club.
Okay. And would you give Hoggy a town contract for life? Long term?
I think he needs freedom of the town.
Hasn't he been solid?
Yeah, absolutely.
Fantastic.
He reminds me of Darren Bullock. You know, remember when Darren Bullock, when we were going from First Division to Championship, everybody said, I'm not sure about Darren, whether he can cope. People may say about Hoggy, I'm not sure about Premier League. He's been standout, and I think it's a credit to him. He's kept himself fit, and like David says, he's a true terrier.
Jay Laverick's put other players on bonuses for staying up.
Yep.
Okay.
Steve Dyson says, what's it like giving the underdog status to Accrington Stanley? I'm not sure we've given it up, have we?
As good as Accrington are, and as well as they've done, I think them going to League One versus Huddersfield to the Premier League, I think it's black and white. I think it's a different. I think it's a different success. They've done extremely well, and I hope they continue. Great club, fantastic for them. But I think what we did to get to the Premier League, on how we did it, and all the circumstances, I think just tops them.
And
they may disagree.
And Mark's put, are there any regrets of players you've had the chance to sign, and the ones that, so it's like the ones that got away?
Do you know something? I don't think we've sold anybody where we've looked back and thought, I don't think any player, please tell me and please text you guys now if you think there is, but I don't think we ever let any player go who's gone on to better themselves than how we have come to the pyramid. Does that make sense?
It does, yeah. Well,
Yeah.
Jordan Rhodes has done super though, hasn't
I considered
You made choices.
Pilkington. No, dropped off a bit after his injury, I suppose.
he? Yeah.
Yeah, maybe Pilts went up there, but I don't think there is any players we have sold who have gone on to be better than Huddersfield Town as we are now. Regarding players who we could have signed and should have signed,
Oliver's put Alex Smithies.
was at QPR, there was a Championship club. So I would say not Alex. No, but Alex is a great keeper. But what I'm saying is, have we sold anybody who's going to prove our sale wrong?
Yeah.
I don't think so.
I don't think there is.
No, I don't think so.
Yeah, I don't think there is. I would say, I would say players we could have signed. Yeah, Ricky Lambert's the one. I was very naive. I should have just paid the £750,000 and bought him. Yeah, Ricky Lambert's the one. I think in hindsight, I look back now and I think I went in the Examiner and said, no, at 27, there's no value in him. How wrong was I? You know, I completely got that completely wrong. And I went on to single-handedly probably get Southampton up into the Premier League. So for me, Ricky Lambert's a big mistake. Should have bought him. I remember we talked about buying Andy Carroll, and Newcastle wanted £2 million. In League One, I went, that's too much money. Then they went for 35 million. So, you know, it's how it goes. But at the same time, you know, I think we've done okay in the transfer market.
Yeah. What's that? Jamie Vardy, because there's, I know that was, it wasn't.
Yeah. Very, very quickly, Jamie Vardy. I'll tell you exactly the story here. Exactly the story, right?
Yeah.
Playing football Wednesday night, what I'm doing now after this, I play with Halifax Town fan, Patrick. And he said to me, you should look at a guy we've got down here. He's like lightning. He's really good. You should look at him. I said to Lee Clark, I've heard there's a guy at Halifax. This is how football works. It's very simple. There's a guy at Halifax called something Vardy, Jamie something. And I said, have a look. He said, I've heard of him. Yeah. I'll go and have a look. And he said to me, I've heard about him. I'm going to have a look at him. So when, and I said to him, what do you think, Lee? He said, bad attitude. And we didn't sign him. And that is the truth. Bad attitude.
Just on the previous one, someone suggests Scott Arfield is maybe one that we...
No. Scotty, and I'll say this to his face, fantastic lad Scotty, had enough chances at Huddersfield, enough chances. He went on trial after us to MK Dons, and then Sean Dyche took him on trial at Burnley, and I think what Sean did very well is he found the ideal position for Scotty Arfield. So not a central midfielder, but more of a wing midfielder kind of player. And I think what Sean did is he found the perfect position what Scott Arfield can excel in, and Scotty has done unbelievably well at Burnley. But let's be fair, Scotty had more than one chance at Huddersfield, and he had some good games, but he had some very average games. Whether that's his playing in the wrong position or whatever, but it didn't work for him. And we decided, for his sake, we'd let him go on the free. When we could have extended his contract by the further year, we had a clause. But we thought for the player, he was going nowhere with Huddersfield, we needed to release him for his own sake. And to be fair to him, he went to Burnley and took it with both arms both hands, and they grasp the opportunity. And sometimes footballers have got to have rejection for them to wake up and smell the coffee. And look at him now, fantastic for the guy, yeah, absolutely. Still lives in Huddersfield apparently as well.
Oh, good lad.
Yeah, good lad.
The model that you've got with the academy, with regards to the players. So we signed some. I think we signed some lads from Man United, didn't we, a few weeks ago?
Yeah, I think there's a couple from Man United, but quite a lot from London as well.
So they're going from the bigger. The model is it to bring them in from the bigger clubs when they've been semi-developed, and then like sort of just finish them off and then play them in the first team.
But we feel we've got really good coaches here. What we feel we can't do, and we haven't got time to do, is bring kids in from 6 or 7 years old and wait 10 years before we know whether they're any good or not. I think it gives kids the wrong hope, and sometimes it's the hope what kills you. So for us, we want to bring kids in from 16, 17 years old and try and make footballers of them. And they may have rejection in the past, but we feel with our coaching setup here, we can concentrate on them and we can make them into better footballers. And it's so much closer to the first team. Absolutely. So a new philosophy, new direction. We've got complete focus now, and going forward, you know, we're probably buying people for the academy as well, which is something we haven't done in the past. So let's see what happens.
Okay. Are you freezing there a little bit?
Are you getting bored then?
I'm not getting bored, but I think we might be.
it now?
We're just 25 past, nearly half past.
Half past what?
8:30.
I've got to go.
Dean,
Sorry, guys.
Thank you so much again for doing this. Really appreciate
I've played
it.
in 2 minutes. Bye.
I'll shake your hand.
See you guys. Bye.
So, thanks a lot.
Bye.
Thanks a lot. Take care, Dean. See you later.
Thanks, Dean.
Thanks everyone for joining us. Dean's run out of the building so quickly. He's going to go play football. So thanks everyone for joining us. I'll upload the video so that anybody can watch it afterwards. I hope you've all enjoyed it. Take care, guys.